Most people spend their lives running from grief, avoiding it, drowning it in positivity, productivity, distraction. But I don't. I actively seek it out, especially at night when everything gets quiet. It sounds twisted, right? Choosing sadness when you could choose comfort, choosing books that break you when you could choose the ones that fix you. But here's something I've been noticing in myself lately, and I don't fully know if I understand it yet. What if the stories that hurt us are actually the ones that heal us the most? I am entirely not sure how to explain this in a perfectly psychological way, but I've been noticing a pattern in myself. Maybe it's because I study psychology, so I tend to notice things more deeply now. But this year, I found myself repeatedly drawn to books like The Stranger by Albert Camus, The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy, Pachinko by Min Jin Lee, Heartlamp by Banu Mushtaq, and Tuesdays with Mori by Mish Album. It's not always intentional. Sometimes I'm not even actively choosing them. I just find myself thinking about them at night, and there's this quiet pull towards emotionally heavy stories that I don't fully have words for yet. What I do notice is what they leave behind. Some books make me feel oddly seen. Like Tuesdays with Mori, I remember wishing I had a Mori in my life, and for a while it almost felt like I did. It created this temporary sense of emotional companionship that stayed with me even after the book ended. And then there are other moments where I notice something different. Sometimes I think maybe I'm actually better off than the characters I'm reading about. And I don't say that with distance. It's more like an uncomfortable mix of, gratitude, guilt, and awareness. So, sadness in stories does not stay as sadness, it turns into comparison, reflection, self positioning. I came across some research in media psychology that might help explain parts of it, though I am still figuring out how to fully interpret it. There's this idea called eudaimoic engagement, described by Oliver and Barch, which suggests that we don't consume media only for pleasure, but for meaning, reflection, and emotional depth. And similarly, research by Koopman on sad literature suggests that we are not essentially drawn to sadness itself, but to what sadness does internally, how it creates insight, reflection, and emotional awareness. But I also want to be honest here. I have kind of procrastinated making this video for a long time. And somewhere during this period, when I was taking therapy, I realized something about myself. I tend to avoid loss and emotional pain in real life. I don't fully know how much that connects to this pattern yet, but I have been thinking about it. Because this is my first long form video, I'm still figuring out how to translate thoughts like these into something structured. So if this feels a little unpolished, here's probably why, okay? Even when I think back, this isn't really new. In school, my cousin suggested I read The Boy in Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. In college, a friend suggested Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. At that time, I did not think much of it, but now I notice something. These emotionally heavy stories keep finding their way back to me even when I'm not actively searching for them. Almost like I'm circling around something I haven't fully named yet. There's also this concept in psychology called benign masochism from Rosen's research, which suggests that human can engage with negative emotions in safe environment when there's no real danger involved. So maybe this isn't about wanting sadness itself. Maybe it's about being able to approach it without being overwhelmed by it. At least that's one way I've been trying to think about this. And maybe part of this is something much older than psychology itself. Aristotle called it catharsis, the idea that we experience emotional purification through tragedy. That by feeling fear, grief, or sadness through stories, we don't accumulate emotions, we release it. Maybe that's why sad books don't just feel heavy, they also feel strangely light afterwards, like something has been processed rather than being carried. Not solved, but moved through. And I think maybe that's why I keep going back to these stories. Not because I understand them completely, but because something in them feels familiar, even when I don't fully know why. If you stayed till here, thank you. This is my first long form video, and I've been really sitting with these thoughts for a while before putting them out. If something in this resonated with you, I'd really love to know. Do you also find yourself drawn to sad or emotionally heavy stories? Or do you avoid them completely? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this kind of slow reflection, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps this channel grow.